everybody. Hope you're doing okay today. I am sitting in my craft room crafting. Finally tidied it up a little bit. It is still crowded, which is driving me crazy because, as most of you probably know, I switched rooms with my son a couple years ago. He took my craft room, which was 3 times the size of this, and now I'm jammed into this small little tight space. So hopefully I will rectify that problem very soon. But anyways, I've been crafting a lot in here, and I've been making a lot of really cool stuff lately with the Stamperia line, and I'm loving the new lines they just came out with. This is the Antarctic line. I haven't totally finished it. I'm going to put some writing in here, so I'm still working on that. I did this with some DINA WAKLEY gloss sprays, and I did some glossy accents, and to cut out some of the items on here from the paper lines and just put them on here, and I love this page. It is so cool. And another one I created was with the, I think it's called the Hortensia, and that was on my black art journal. So I'll show these a little bit better when I pull down my camera, but this is it, and I'm loving it. I actually added some sequins, and again I added some glossy accents on that one, and I love the result of that. So normally I don't do a lot of stuff with Stamperia. Sometimes I find it a little overwhelming, but I'm loving the new lines now. So I thought I'd challenge myself, and I am going to make an art journal with the last line. So I'm going to do it with this one. I'm doing that as well as some rice paper. I'm going to add this in. This is a little bit of a different line, but same color schemes, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to show you how I come about making a little bit of an art journal page, just like the one I did with Hortensia. So I'm going to flip the camera and away we go. This is a page I started out with. It's just a plain blank page in my art journal. I actually started with a sewing pattern, a vintage sewing pattern, and I put that down. I thought I'd kind of speed things up a little bit and go a couple steps ahead. And I put the pattern on with what I prefer more than anything is the DINA WAKLEY, the gel medium. So I use this to tack all that stuff down, and it works like a charm, and I love it. So I'm going to tack these pages down so they don't move in our creation. But I kind of folded over a little bit, but I can fix that. That's not a problem. So there's that. But I also then put some white gesso over top of it. And then here I used a stencil, and I used just regular old modeling paste. So I did that, and this is the reaction I did. I did this yesterday, so it is finally dried. And we are going to try and come up with a page similar to this. I'm not going to put the bling on with the sequins, but I'm going to do something very similar and show you how I created that. So now to get started. First thing I'm going to probably do, I mean, there's so many different things anybody could ever use. The choices are endless. I am going to probably put some Tim Holtz distress crayons on mine. And given the color scheme that we have here, I am probably going to do a little bit of this, which is the crushed olive. And let's see, what else can we do? This one would be perfect, the evergreen bough. I'm not totally sure, but we might add some black soot. And maybe some tarnished brass. So because it's gears and it's kind of along the lines of steampunk, so there's some options. Maybe some gathered twigs. I'll pull that out just in case. Some white, we need it. And there's a couple of different shades of these colors. We'll pull out broken china, and we'll pull out the shabby shutters and the cracked pistachio. So I'm going to do those. We might add some reds and things. We'll see about how that goes. So we're going to pull out those. I am also going to use some chalk paints, and I am going to use today the paper ARTSY, because I love those. It just makes me happy. So I'm going to use the sea glass, the aquamarine, the jade, and what else can we use? Kind of want a green. Decisions, I tell ya. Maybe do the khaki. So I'm going to pull those out. So we can start with those. Afterwards, we will be doing some sprays. And I think with this one, because it is steampunk and it's metals, I will probably use some dilutions. So we can pull out the dilutions, the cut grass, the fresh lime. Might not use that one, it might be too bright, but we can see about that. Yeah, some of the dilutions I have, because I really like bright colors, bright is my thing, might be a little bit on the brighter side for what we're going to be doing. These I think would be good. They might be a little bit more on the darker side, but we can always try them. And then these ones, which are the, of course I don't have my glasses on, the chocolate, the melted chocolate, the slate gray, and the black marble. So we're going to try maybe some of those. So we are going to start this right now. All right, one thing I'm going to do as well is put some washi tape on. So I'm going to do some washi. I'm just going to put that down here. My washi is very gummed up, so just rub that off. If you're wondering what the heck I am doing, it's kind of gummy. So that, and I'm going to put some washi over here as well. So this is a work in progress. I really like doing art journal pages. I know many of you are either scrapbookers, card makers, or into mixed media as well. Some not into everything, but just so you know, next week's video will be a scrapbook page. So we will be making some, well, a layout anyways, with P13. So stay tuned for that. Oh, this is so gummy, it's ripping. That's never good. All right, so try this again. Of course, when you do videos, right? So hopefully everybody's taking care of themselves and doing well. Not much been going on down here. Doing a lot of crafting and gardening, and that's kind of it. Been on the computer way more than I probably should be. Oh goodness. Yeah, this is really stuck. They make these things way too sticky. You know what? I don't have the patience. I will come back to that later. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my distress crayon, and I've got this. Mine isn't totally clean, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to go like that. Get all that pigment on there. There's lots of pigment. Way more than I will ever need, but whatever. And put my finger in it. You'll be seeing me use my finger on my layout a lot. So I'm just going to rub it around, get some color and some depth into here. You could use a brush. Some people don't want to get their fingers dirty. That is totally not me. I don't care. So get some color in there, some yummy pigment. And I mean, really, for me too, we will be putting the paints and the other dilutions on there as well. I'll start over here now. Try and get it into all three areas, because I don't know if you can tell, but I have my stencil in all three areas. So I have there, and there. So, and I know you can't really see the pattern in the background, my sewing pattern, but it's just to give it a little bit of depth and dimension and some lines behind the scenes. You could use rice paper, you could use pages from a book. There's lots of different things you could use. Alright, we'll give it another color. We're going to use Broken China now. So, in the comments, it'd be awesome to hear if any of you guys follow along and do any of this, or if you've tried any of the things I've set out and done, or if you've tried anything different and got different results. Or I love creating like this. I've been scrapbooking for so long that sometimes it's nice to have a different thing to come up with and create, because I don't take as many pictures as I used to when my kids were older. So okay, so the next color we're going to use is Cracked Pistachio. So see, we're going to have a lot of light with our distress crayons, but then we're going to add some of the same colors in our paints, but our sprays are going to be darker. So, and as you will see, I'm not going to actually spray them. We're going to drip. So, there's that one. Dee, 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 dee. I have so many videos in the go, y'all. Like, I have videos scheduled till right now, the end of December. And maybe come October, I'll come up with some ideas of different things to do after that. I'm going to have some live feeds as well, so you guys can work along with me and we can come up with some awesome stuff and talk scrapbooking and talk crafting, and it'd be awesome if you guys tuned into that. So keep posted, because I will have a date for that coming up very soon. I know lots of kids are probably, at the time that this is going to be posted, getting ready to go back to school and probably busy with that. So all you moms who are probably in desperate need of a break from your kids because you've been with them for so many months, maybe that's your opportunity to get out your crafting stuff and come join us online and have some fun. I'm also thinking of doing a Zoom event where you guys can all join in with me and we can all craft together. So that might be something that's up your alley, especially if you can't leave the house if you got younger kids, or you're worried about your health or mobility issues or whatever the situation may be. Okay, so that's it with the distressed crayons for now. I'm going to go in and add the gold and the black and whatnot after the fact. So now, this is really dirty and old, but I am going to use this. This doesn't come out, so it looks disgusting. But I am going to, because I find this is great when you're using your finger, to put it in this old Making Memories one. So if you can ever find one of these, because there's no Making Memories anymore, I highly recommend getting one of these. Or you can still buy them if you have a paint store anywhere around you. That's also a great idea as well. These work awesome for using your finger and I guess essentially finger painting. So this is kind of what I did with my last one. On this one, I'm using my finger a lot because I can manipulate really where I want it to go and I don't want any brush strokes. So I did a lot of this in the other one. So hopefully you're not going to be totally bored watching me do this. And I might even speed this up a little bit, so maybe that's what I'll do so you can see me painting. now that's dried a little bit, I have cut out my rice paper and my girl. I'm going to cut this out maybe a little bit more, I'm not really sure. But I have got out my water brush, which is a water brush, and my gold paint, and I've colored in a few things on this girl. Added the leftover blue that we had from on here and did those, and later on I'm going to glossy accent this as well once it's on our page. The other thing I did was I cut out the rice paper, so I'm going to do that. Right now I'm going to add some gold accents onto our page. So same as we did before, just color in some gold, and we will be doing this on the final project as well once we get everything tacked down. This is just to give it a little bit more depth and dimension and some oomph for our color scheme. What's nice about this is we have such large pieces that are going to go on to our page that if there's an area you didn't overly like, you can always cover it. So that's always a bonus. And for me, it's probably this area down here. It looks a little bit more muddy than I had wanted, but that's okay. Trial and error. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that for now. And again, we are going to get out what I told you I used before, which was the DINA WAKLEY Gel Medium, which I use for tacking things down because it works like a charm. I really enjoy it. I'm going to get out, I usually use my squeegee or a hotel key. I'm running out of hotel keys because my husband's not traveling anymore, so that usually is a little bit of a problem. So I'm going to tack this down on this side. So I usually put the gel medium on, I spread it around like so. It's very thin and light, and that's one reason I really like it. Dries clear, and you know, you can't see through it. There's no lumps and bumps and bubbles, and I find it dries fairly fast, and it's my go-to. You could use Mod Podge. Mod Podge isn't my favorite for stuff like this. I did use Mod Podge for decoupage way back in the day, like in the early 90s. But with Mod Podge, there's been other products that have come out since then, like collage mediums and stuff, which I much prefer for the same reason I like this. It's just thinner, right? Decoupage, you know, you didn't have back in the day as many options. Mod Podge is a good product, but it's very thick. So, alright, so I'm going to tack this down. Make sure you get it the right side because it is a clock. So, where's the 60? There's the 60. Alright, so we're going to put that down like so. And then I'm going to get out my little squeegee, and with this you need to be a little bit careful because it is rice paper, so it's a lot thinner than regular paper, and make sure you don't get any lumps and bumps and you don't rip it. So you can use your finger too, which I tend to do as well. I use the squeegee really just to get the air pockets out if there's any air pockets. So there we go. So, and see, look at that, it's already flat, it's tacked down, it's drying. You don't want to make a whole lot of mistakes with it because it's very fast drying, but I really like it. So, and then our girl, I'm probably going to tack down around there. So we are going to do that, but what I wanted to kind of do before then, oh, excuse me, got the hiccups, is I'm going to do some writing. And you could, if you had a stamp, you could use scripty writing, you could do freehand, you could use tissue, you could do whatever you wanted to. But I'm going to do some writing, and not necessarily anything that's really legible. I just want to have something that looks scripty. So I'm going to grab out my Posca pins. I have a whole bunch of different colors we could use. Ideally, well, here's a gold. So we can use gold, but I really wanted to have something a little bit less. So I think I'm going to use my black. Clean up a little bit as we go. Actually, this is silver. Silver wouldn't be bad either, but I don't think there's any silver really on here. It's mostly golds and bronzes. Yeah. So we want black. And that is white. You know, I'm not grabbing the right colors. I got too many. Alright, so here we go. Here is black. Alright, so with this, again, I want to have something that's not really words per se that you can read. I just want something that's scripty. So okay, so we have that. I'm just going to do a little bit more here because I'm going to do that like that. So I'm going to have it come down to about here. So alright, so we did that, and that's kind of the look I wanted to go for. So now we're going to do the same thing and put our gel medium on here. So is this what you thought this was going to look like? It's turning out the way I thought so far. Running out of room. Can't have my bigger craft room fast enough. Yeah, one day I'll get it back. Let me see. Alright. I've got so many plans for my larger craft room once it happens. Because like I said, I used to have a really big one, but not now. But I still have the same amount of stuff. Go figure. Actually, I have more. So, and I've acquired more furniture too. So, that makes it awkward because I'm planning for when and if my daughter ever trades rooms with me. Don't want to force her to do it, so just wait until she thinks, oh yeah, it's a great plan, Mom. Maybe one day. Not holding my breath. Okay, so we are going to pop this girl on here, like so. Yes. And again, you can use a squeegee if you want, or you can use your fingers. Right now I'm not overly using my fingers because I have the gel medium on them. So, probably not a great idea. You could use, I guess, in theory, you could use a glue stick. I wouldn't recommend that because with glue sticks, you can always get chunks of of adhesive underneath. And I don't know, that's just not my favorite one to use this. I use glue sticks for lots of different things, but I don't know that I would use it on something like this. Something that's thin, soft, like this is the Gel Matte Medium. I honestly, like, I really recommend this. This has been the nicest one I've seen so far. Tim Holtz's Collage Medium is pretty awesome too, but this is probably my favorite. So I use this one a fair bit. Yeah, so we've done that. And now we are going to add some more color. We are going to use the tarnished brass on here. And I'm just going to pull it up here. And with this, I'm actually going to color it, shade it. I'm going to do a little bit into the corners and pull that color out. And as you can see, there's lots of pigment going on here, so. Hopefully you like these colors. These are essentially my faves. I try not to use them too much because they are my faves. So, yes, so we're going to do that, and I'm going to, because we haven't used this one yet, I'm going to use the crushed olive. So, add a little bit of lightness to this as well. And like I said, I'm going to use my finger and some water with both of these and blend it around. You could use the plastic like I was using before, or you can do this. It's either way works. This is more of a, if you want it in a large amount of area. The other one is if you want to really put it in just certain areas, really, or if you want to kiss it with well, it's another kissing technique, but I will show you that at a later date. But there's that option as well. Vicky Booten, if you watch Vicky Booten videos, she does a kissing technique. So, but yeah, that's something I've done before too, and it works awesome. So, yeah, I'm liking it. We had a little bit of mud in some areas, but it doesn't have to stay that way. Yep. Lots of pigment on this because it's gotten into all the grooves of our modeling paste. So this look cool. Just love it. It's turning out awesome. You could put more writing on here if you wanted to. You could even go over this with gesso if you had wanted to lighten it up so the writing wasn't so strong. It's totally a personal preference thing. Part of me too, even though you can't really see a lot of our tissue underneath, I wanted a crackle look on our tissue. So that is another reason I put it under there, is for the bunched look, if you will. So I'm going to put a little bit more blue into here, and then I think I'm going to leave it with that. I might add a little bit of white. I don't know. We'll see. Bring back some of the blue. And as I'm doing this, for all of you guys who are into the mixed media, don't forget, I think it's August 26th, so a few days after this video is released, Tim Holtz is releasing his next color in his product line, so make sure you check out the Tim Holtz website, because he will do a full product release, and you might want to check that out. I know if you're local here, places like Paper Art Creations and the Duke are doing a release right now. You can go on and order and get all of the product for $65 if you wanted to get the whole product line. So that is an option if that's something you were wanting to do, or you collect all of his items. So you might want to look that up and check that out and contact Cheryl there. So I'm sure all the other stores will be carrying it too, but I know with her she does a product special if you want to order the whole line. So I don't know any other places that do that. There might be, but you might want to check into that. Okay. Yeah. So add in a little bit of water. I don't want to overdo it with the water on the white because I'm trying to add the light, and I will be doing some droplets of white on here as well once I'm done with the glossy accents. So I will be doing the crackle glossy accents on here, and I am going to show you that now. I'm just going to grab a paintbrush, and there we go. Cut out my paintbrush, and I use the crackle accents on here. So glossy accents work great. With these, I sometimes tend to do the crackle instead. With this, I'm going to do it over top of some of the gears and some of the areas that I use my water brush with. Just gives it a nice glisten and a shine, and I like that look. At the end of all of this, you can also add, if you have any gears, you can add some gears to your page as well, which I might do, depending on what this looks like. What would you add? Let me know. Ooh, I like that so far. All right, so I'm going to put this on her earring and on the starfish and in her hair. I'm going to put one big glob on her hair, and then I'm going to move around to all the different areas that I put gold. Hopefully you can see the gold hairs I did. I only did a few. Didn't want to overdo it. I actually contemplated making her hair blue. I thought I do not want her to look like she's out of some Disney movie, like she's Ursula or something, so no. She is a strong, strong woman. Not that you couldn't be with blue hair, but I wanted kind of more of an industrial look, and I thought blue hair is probably not an industrial look. So this looks pretty cool. I like it already. Okay, so that, and then we are going to put a little bit on here and dolly this up. In the glossy part of it, you're not going to see a ton of glisten, but enough that it just looks kind of cool, and you'll see it in different lights. Okay. And this is an anchor earring, which I love. I love anchors. I love the Maritimes. We're going to do the whole anchor as well. Yes. Looks so cool. I love this. And I think, like I did with the Hortensia page, the other Stamperia, I am also going to do her lips. Her eyeshadow, colored that in. Her lips were a light pink, and I put a little bit of gold over them too. Okay, so we're going to do the starfish. went out of the lines a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and that's it. Our glossy accents. I'm going to dry off my paintbrush because now we are going to put some drops. And I am just going to, I was going to use this color, but we've used that color a lot, so I am going to actually use Snowflake, which is a fresco finish chalk paint from Paper Artsy, and I love it. Kathy at Scrap and Bean, if you're local, just got in a ton of Paper Artsy paints, and I think she must have almost every color that they've ever created, but it looks awesome, and she has a great display of it if you want to go check that out, or order online at scrapandbean.com. So we're just gonna let these fall wherever they may fall. You just do a little flick of the wrist and a tap, and they just go wherever. And like I said, I just add a little bit of water so it's not so thick and it just pops in. We don't need a ton, but I'd like to have a little bit more. And I think this area needs a little something something, so I will probably put some gears in there. But I will probably do that after. It's the same situation as like here. I will probably use E6000 adhesive because that's what I like. And it works awesome, it works like a charm. It sticks there, it's like nice and thick for thicker things like that. And I think that's good for the dots. Actually, we need a little bit down here. Fingers getting sore from tapping. There we go. So that to me looks good. So I might put a little something in there, but if I do, I will show you a picture at the end of the finished project. So this is our creation. So there you have it. That's our final project. It's a little bit of a longer video, but this actually took a lot longer than a lot of the other projects I make. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. If you have any questions, let me know. These are so much fun to make. I highly recommend, if you haven't started getting into mixed media, you give it a go because it's a lot of fun. Our next video, if you tune in next week, will be all about layering and scrapbooking. So adding different layers to your scrapbook pages, and we will be using the P13 line and maybe some others. So check back, make sure you subscribe and like this feed, and tell your friends who are also into crafting and whatnot so they can enjoy these as well. Again, if you have any questions, drop me an email at irememberwhen@shaw.ca, or you can comment on this feed and I will respond to you. Again, thanks for watching and happy crafting.